One thing about Taylor Swift's private life that's always in the media spotlight, it's her relationships. After all, that Taylor wanted to get married, but her partner didn't want to. In 2017,
She's not a showgirl, she's a master of illusion, a conjurer of narratives, a weaver of tales. Taylor Swift's latest song, Showgirl, isn't just a track, it's a carefully staged spectacle, and we're all in the front row, unaware that the lights are part of the act. Because let's face it, Taylor Swift isn't really a showgirl, at least not in the way she wants you to believe. The glitter, the glamour, the swaying feathers and sparkling sequins, that's storytelling dressed up in rhinestones. The real story is hidden behind the shimmer, and the closer you look, the more you realize the showgirl is a role she's performing, not an identity she's living. It starts with a hook, an opening beat, a lyric that feels intimate, almost conspiratorial, like she's leaning in whispering, "I'll show you my life." When in reality, she's showing you a version of a life she's carefully constructed. Swift has spent over a decade mastering this craft, turning albums into chapters, songs into secret diaries, and now, the persona of the showgirl into a myth you can dance along to, cry along to, or replay obsessively at 2 a.m. while questioning your own identity. Take the song itself. Showgirl opens with an intoxicating mix of synths and percussive claps, immediately pulling you into a world of velvet curtains and glittering stage lights. On the surface, it's glamorous. On a deeper level, it's deceptive. The lyrics paint a picture of a life brimming with allure and tragedy, heartbreak and performance. But here's the twist. Taylor Swift isn't living it, she's performing it. Every line, every inflection, every dramatic pause is calculated to create the illusion that the showgirl's world is her world. But dig deeper, and the story begins to unravel. Behind the sequins and spotlights, there's a storyteller meticulously weaving a narrative, borrowing imagery from Broadway, cinema, and pop culture to craft an almost theatrical persona. She references classic showbiz tropes, nods to iconic actresses like Elizabeth Taylor, and uses language that evokes smoky jazz clubs and backstage whispers. But it's all metaphor, all illusion, all artifice. The genius of Showgirl lies in its subtlety. Taylor Swift doesn't simply announce, "I am a showgirl." She lets you infer it, gently nudging the listener to buy into a story that exists primarily in the imagination. There's a tension between reality and performance here. Consider the verses where she sings of longing and loneliness amid applause and adoration, an ironic juxtaposition that mirrors real-life stardom. Taylor has spent years in the public eye, and Showgirl reads like a masterclass in self-awareness. She knows the myths fans want to believe, and she sells them convincingly, even as she's subtly reminding you that these myths are exactly that, fabricated, polished, packaged illusions. Production choices amplify this effect. Recorded in studios that are modern cathedrals of sound, with collaborators who have chart-topping experience, the song's layered textures and cinematic soundscapes reinforce the narrative of grandeur. Every swell of strings, every echo of vocal harmonies, every carefully placed pause is designed to immerse you in the story. But here's the kicker. The showgirl isn't a real person. It's a construct. Swift has used the music to craft a world so convincing that the audience momentarily forgets that she herself is outside of it, orchestrating the entire spectacle. The lyrics, the visuals, the marketing, they all converge to create an experience, not a confession. This is storytelling at its most performative. We are sold on an identity, but it's an identity carefully curated to entertain, provoke, and mesmerize. Critics have pointed out this duality. Some hail Showgirl as a bold, concept-driven triumph, a reinvention of Swift's narrative skill set. Others, however, note the artifice, the deliberate crafting of persona, and question whether the song is self-reflective or performative. But perhaps that's the point. Authenticity in the world Taylor Swift depicts is an illusion, just like the spotlighted stage. The brilliance of the track is that it functions on multiple levels, as pop music, as cinematic storytelling, and as a meditation on fame and persona. It's both confessional and performative, intimate and theatrical, a song that invites scrutiny while simultaneously delighting in mystery. And the audience? We lap it up, parsing every lyric, hunting for hidden meanings, connecting dots that may or may not exist, all while forgetting that the showgirl herself may simply be a reflection of our own fascination with performance and spectacle. Visual storytelling enhances the illusion. In live performances and teasers, Taylor is adorned in sparkling costumes, moving through shadows and neon lights, surrounded by dancers who accentuate her every gesture. But look closely, every element, from choreography to costume to lighting, reinforces a carefully crafted image. There's a deliberate tension between glamour and vulnerability, spectacle and intimacy. The Showgirl is larger than life, yet simultaneously designed to evoke empathy, a paradox that keeps the audience captivated, hanging on each lyric and visual cue. It's theater, cinema, and music combined, a multi-sensory narrative in which Taylor Swift remains the ultimate director, manipulating perception with a wink and a nod. Fans, of course, are not blind. Social media is ablaze with analysis, reaction videos, and theories. Some insist that Showgirl reveals Taylor's inner life, her heartbreaks and triumphs. Others recognize the theatricality and craftsmanship, marveling at her ability to create an entire persona that exists in parallel to her own life. And that's where the genius lies. Taylor Swift has perfected the art of the layered narrative. Showgirl is not just a song, it's a commentary on performance itself, an exploration of the boundaries between reality and fiction, a reflection on how identity can be both constructed and performed. From her early days as a country singer to her metamorphoses in pop, alternative, and indie folk, Swift has never been shy about reinvention. Yet Showgirl represents a more deliberate exercise in storytelling. Here, she's not merely changing sound or style. She's embodying a character, illustrating the complexity of fame and the contradictions of celebrity life. She shows us a world of elegance, glitter, and dramatic tension, and in doing so, challenges our perceptions of authenticity. The track asks, when does a persona become reality, and when is it merely a story told well? Taylor doesn't give easy answers. She thrives in ambiguity, making the listener complicit in the narrative, aware that they are both observer and participant in the story of the Showgirl. As the song progresses, the listener is drawn deeper into the myth. Each chorus, each bridge, and each whispered note builds layers upon layers of character, history, and emotional resonance. By the final verse, it's clear that the Showgirl is more than a trope. She is an allegory for the art of performance itself. Taylor Swift, the architect of the song, demonstrates an acute understanding of human psychology. We crave narrative, we invest in characters, and we willingly suspend disbelief when the performance is convincing enough. Showgirl is not just a musical experience, it's a psychological study, a meditation on desire, envy, and fascination, and yet beneath the shimmer there is vulnerability. The track hints at loneliness, at longing for connection beyond applause and adulation. These glimpses of the real person behind the persona remind us that performance, however dazzling, can never fully capture lived experience. Taylor Swift knows this, and she uses it to her advantage, creating tension between the constructed Showgirl and the artist herself. The listener is left suspended in that tension, simultaneously entranced and skeptical, fully aware that the Showgirl is a story, yet invested in believing it if only for a moment. By the final refrain, it becomes evident. Taylor Swift is a storyteller masquerading as a showgirl. Showgirl is not confession, it's performance, meticulously crafted for maximum impact, and in that realization lies the brilliance of the song. It's a mirror, reflecting our own fascination with spectacle, identity, and the fine line between truth and artifice. It's a reminder that in music, as in life, stories are often more compelling than reality, and the artist's power lies in their ability to make us believe. So, is Taylor Swift truly a showgirl? Not really, but does it matter? The magic of Showgirl lies not in literal truth, but in the illusion, the narrative, the theatricality. She has created a character who embodies allure, tragedy, and spectacle, drawing the audience into a world that exists somewhere between reality and fiction. And in doing so, she reminds us that the story, the performance, is always more captivating than the mundane details of reality. It's a clever dance of identity, fame, and imagination, and we, the audience, are lucky to witness it. The curtain falls, the lights dim, but the story lingers. Showgirl is a testament to the artistry of performance, the power of narrative, and the genius of Taylor Swift as both singer and storyteller. If you want to dive deeper into the world of music, fame, and the hidden stories behind the stars, subscribe to this channel now. Every week, we unravel the secrets behind your favorite songs, dissect the myths, and reveal the artistry that turns music into magic. Don't miss the next performance. Hit that subscribe button and join the front row of the story, because in Taylor Swift's world, the show must go on, and trust me, you'll want a backstage pass.